Hello, welcome to Film Conscious,
My name is Erin.
and my name is Maddie.
On this podcast, we will be discussing films and their various different meanings. We're going to tie into a little bit of our favorite actors, scenes, songs, and some other important film stuff.
I think it's important to mention that we're both not professionals. We are just two teenagers talking about our favorite films, so please do not take heavy judgment on anything we have to say. Love you. Enjoy.
This week, we will be chatting about the film I Saw the TV Glow. This film contains trigger warnings, including disturbing imagery, body dysmorphia, and a little bit of minimal gore, no blood, maybe a little bit. And some LGBTQIA resources are
We have the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and the Trans Lifeline in the US and in Canada. So the film I Saw the TV Glow follows themes of escapism and gender dysphoria. I think it's a very convoluted film to talk about in general, just because it so much is happening all at once. And it is an experimental film, so there's just always a lot going on. But we follow this main character named Owen and their friend Maddie, and we kind of see them grow up together. I think Owen in the beginning is in middle school, Maddie's in high school, and then we kind of see them grow into these different phases of life and see how they change and explore these themes. Jane Schoenbrun, the director, their whole message of the film is that it's never too late. And I think even if you're not in the community, it's a very good film to watch just to understand more of what the experience might be like. And it's also just a very beautiful film. So yeah.
the overall aesthetic of the film is amazing.
Chef's chef's kiss. You also don't see that a lot in media, which is you don't see transness or things gender related very present in media, especially in film. A full-fledged film that was in theaters worldwide. That is insane. So yeah.
It also wasn't super obvious that the entire film was about being trans, and a lot of
Oh
films about being trans are very,
my god, yeah.
you can tell that they're about being trans, and this film, it wasn't so clear.
I think that's good though, because I think that made people want to dig deeper. I don't know if the reviews for the film, if you go on a more general, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, the reviews are so terrible, but if you go on Letterboxd, they're very positive. So it's I don't know if mass media is enjoying this, but I know the queer community definitely is.
Oh, the film was also very nostalgic. We could talk about how,
Oh yeah, that's a big aspect of the film, and I know that Jane Schoenbrun definitely wanted to carry that as a main factor in a lot of their films, not even just this one. We're All Going to the World's Fair is their other film, and they carried that theme very heavily throughout to express queerness. So yeah, I
it might not feel nostalgic to everyone. Most
know,
people I've talked to, it feels nostalgic, but that's because they're in the queer community.
but it includes a lot of references to the late 90s,
That's
very
true.
early 2000s that I think people would get, and they include cast. We'll talk about this later. We'll go into it, but they have a lot of casting. They have a lot of music artists that do reference those time periods and people who are actually from those time periods, which is really interesting to see.
Even the color scheme is very
Oh, the
2000s.
color scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys are into art at all, if you were to use those shots for references for art, that would be pretty sick. The parachute shot, that was really cool. We should bring this back. You brought this up before when we were talking, but they should be bringing back those big parachutes that we had in preschool, kindergarten.
They were a big thing in elementary. And I don't know if that's It's definitely a 2000s kid thing, but like
I don't
I
know.
wish we could bring those back.
There's the whole like carrying, how do I even say this? I think like the vessel for the show that's like carried throughout is a TV screen or a TV show that's being presented. Um, but yeah, I think both characters get so immersed in that TV show and it kind of like reflects their identity that they've been suppressing for such a long time.
And not just the TV show, too. The actual TV itself is a
Yeah.
symbol of
Yep.
identity, which is very well done. It's very well done.
Um, yeah. I think that there's a lot of different aspects that Schoenbrun definitely puts a lot of aspects of the film, like not even just the TV show itself, but there's always like surrounding things. Like they always put the lettering in the background, they always make sure that there's little symbols that can represent what the characters are feeling. Owen works at a movie theater and like we see this one scene where Owen is just like looking in the camera, very like it looks like they're dissociating, and in the background it says thanks for watching on a huge screen. Like I feel like there's a lot of shots where there's a lot of attention to detail of like what the message of the film is without actually saying it.
Mhm.
Um yeah.
Is the word transgender ever said in the actual film?
No, never. I think that's intentional
Yeah,
because
but
they
that's quite amazing that you can
yeah.
have a film be about something that you never actually mention.
Jack Haven plays Maddie. I think Jack Haven is very well, quite well known, especially in the queer community. You've
Yes.
probably seen them in Atypical. Justice Smith plays Owen.
My favorite actor, obviously, is Jack Haven. But that's just I'm a bit biased. I'm in love with Jack Haven, always will be.
Aaron stole the best option
Yes.
to do very well in the film. Um, but I think because people have seen Jack Haven before, in Atypical, um, we're like raving about them.
Mhm.
They're really cool. They're very cool. They're very silly. Um, I think seeing their performance in the film was really was really emotional just because I think it's such a stark difference from what they usually do. Like
Mhm.
in Atypical, it's not it's definitely a lot more lighthearted in Atypical. So seeing like this side of them in an acting sphere is really interesting. Oh, they also include we were talking about references back to the late 90s. We see um I think one of the main characters for I haven't watched the show, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a very prominent show in the late 90s. We see um them play the Owens friend's mom, and Owen's dad is the lead singer of Limp Bizkit, which is kind of crazy. And then I think there was a few other actors sprinkled throughout that were also references to the late 90s. I know the casting director was trying to pick those very like methodically.
Um, One of my favorite quotes, Owen says, "It feels like someone took a shovel and dug out all of my insides. I know there's nothing in there, but I'm still too nervous to open myself up and check. I know there's something wrong with me. My parents know it too, even if they don't say anything." This one really hit close to the heart. Um, I mean, like, it's slightly gory, and it also just is beautifully written, and acted out. Um, just the imagery is amazing. Like a shovel digging out your insides is quite an image. Um,
Kind of crazy.
but it also just you can feel it. You can feel how heavy it is to just understand who you are as a person, and you have to carry around who you are as well, and that's quite difficult.
I think it's also very like we see Maddie do this too with a very almost similar metaphor. Um, or it's actually like very similar, but in a very physical way. Um, we see Maddie in this one scene. There's like a projector going on in the background. There's like crazy stuff happening. The scene's really cool to watch, but it's just um, Jack Haven standing in the middle of the screen, and it's like a slow zoom on their face, and they're talking about how while Owen, while they weren't with Owen and they were away, she asked, they asked someone to bury them, and then like they were just like in this hole, and they like felt super trapped. I don't remember exactly what they were saying, but they were like, I was banging for them to let me out. I was banging, like I was like peeing my pants. It was like very like there's a lot of imagery that they were
Yeah.
in. It was this very long segment, maybe like 5-7 minutes of just them talking. And yeah, we see them kind of use that metaphor and take it to like a high extreme of like what it would actually be like physically. We also see at the end of that segment, after they go to the football field, it cuts to the football field, and on the side, they're just like, there's a dug grave there.
I think all of that really just, even if you're not in the community, you can feel how heavy it is to not understand your identity or to understand it, but not fully take it in or allow yourself to become that person that you truly are.
Yeah.
And it's just overall very heavy on your heart and your soul.
It's very emotional to watch.
Mhm.
I've definitely had a lot of friends in my life, and you've had your sister have
Mhm.
very like visceral reactions to the film. Like one of my friends literally had to step back after the film, like couldn't talk to anyone, went to the bathroom and like had a panic attack, like full-fledged panic attack. I feel like the film does a really good job of hitting close to home for a lot of people, and I think that is very meaningful. Um
Especially right now, it's very it brings a light
yeah,
on something that right now I don't know how to
we're really struggling with to like
people are really struggling.
think now more than ever, it's very important that we keep the community together. And I think it's something like if we have big things in media like this, it sheds light on something people don't want to pay attention to. And it puts it in your face, and it makes it clear to people that like there's things like this that are still present, and like there's still support there.
Mm.
Um, yeah. Also, all the resources we showed in the beginning will also link in the description if you ever need one of those. Yo, 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 we're back. Okay,
Brief intermission.
brief intermission. We can only be recording in 40-minute intervals. Um, Now we're on to overall ratings. Aaron, what was your rating?
Out of 10, I'm gonna say 9.5 because I can't give any film 10 out of 10. It's just you gotta leave a little bit of space just in case there's something mind-blowing out there. Um, Definitely top 20.
This was kind of mind blowing though,
It was mind-blowing.
but
Um,
she's
Hit
leaving
me right in
extra
the
room,
heart.
hit you right in the heart,
But
leaving extra room.
I'm leaving room just in case there's some other film that beats it.
Okay, I'm gonna give it. I, unlike Aaron, can give things 10 out of 10, and I love giving things 5 out of 5s and 10 out of 10s. Um, if you look at my letterbox, I literally put everything at a 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5, occasionally a 3, only 1, 2. Um,
I
Yeah.
like I like to
Oh,
critique things.
you
You're a little more humble.
you
Um,
we should link our letterboxes in the description.
yeah.
That's the only media you're getting from us. I give it a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I think not only was it an amazing film, but I think it was very influential. And I think it's a type of film that will be carried down in queer cinema history, which is awesome. So yeah, I watched it in my queer cinema class. Everyone was like, wow. Everyone was cheering by the end. The ending is not very
Yeah.
I mean, it's uplifting, but not. It's a bit sad. Um, but I think it carries a very amazing message, and everything about the film is just so beautiful. So,
Yeah. We're gonna start a ranking tier list, but since this is our first podcast episode and our first film, it's gonna be top. It's gonna be number one, just because it has nothing else. I'm guessing it's gonna stay number one for quite some time,
for quite some time,
but
it'll be
yeah,
like a little battle between our films. We are planning to put out an episode once a week. We're gonna try our best.
might be
Um,
every other week. We'll see.
we'll see. We'll see. Um, Favorite songs in the film. I have quite a few.
You have quite a few. I narrowed it down because I prefer slower music and slower sad songs. So, Riding Around in the Dark by Florist was really good. Claw Machine by Sloppy Jane.
Sloppy Joe.
They're both just slow. They feel nostalgic. They make me want to cry, and that's what I want from music. So, I liked those.
I'll have to agree with you on that. Um, Florist, I've been listening to for a while, their music, and it is very much like the type of music you like, very mellow, a bit sad. And then there's also, I just learned about Sloppy Jane.
Mm.
Um, the song they sang with Phoebe Bridgers, Claw Machine, very good, very good. I think the two collabing is kind of epic.
Yeah.
Um, there was quite a few people on here that I don't know. However,
Mm.
I did learn about them because of this movie.
I don't listen to
Uh,
any of these artists,
no, but you did like
but
them.
I think in the future I probably could.
It's in the card. I think also, guys, you need to keep in mind you don't know Erin personally, but Erin doesn't listen to a lot of different people. She like sticks to a very limited amount of people.
I listen to probably 5 artists,
Yeah,
so it's limited.
it's limited. So adding another artist to that list is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, I think my favorite personally is the most well-known one by Yule. I think that's how you pronounce their name, Yule. But I have the soundtrack pulled up here. Anthems for a 17-year-old girl.
Mm.
Very good song.
That
Makes
one's
me
also kind of nostalgic in a sense.
it is very nostalgic. It is. I want to cry every time I listen to it. Psychic Wound. That's a good song.
It's a bit heavier than all of the other
It
songs.
is really heavy, but it's so good for
All
that.
of the other songs are kind of nostalgic, lighthearted, they make you want to cry. And this one like you still want to cry, but in a
You
different
definitely want to
sense.
cry, but like loud crying.
Loud cry.
Um, it's also part of a scene that's like very like Maddie at the time is very driven by anger and like she's trying to like express these things to Owen
Yeah.
at the same time, not anger, but like they have a lot that they want to express and it's coming out very like
So, we're going to be doing a section at the very end of every podcast where we mention our favorite song for the week. This is kind of hard for me because my music is very limited, but
oh, but you have songs that you can share.
we'll figure it out. So, currently it's winter, so I think I have to pick a Sufjan Stevens song. I think I'm gonna be picking Sufjan too often. It's just,
Okay, but Sufon's discography is very wide, so it's very broad. You can pick a lot from it.
that's true. Drawn to the Blood by Sufjan Stevens is a good one for this week. It's just deep. It's
Deep cut.
wintry, kind of giving fall, even though it's no longer fall.
I can give a shout out to two songs as well, two kind of different genres of songs. I've been listening to some music from like the early 20th century, like the 20s to 40s. Ain't She Sweet by Gene Austen. Very good song. I've been listening to a lot of the Pierces. They made the intro song for Pretty Little Liars. The song Secret. I feel like it's pretty well known, but I've been listening to that. That is a very good song. Their whole album is good.
Maybe not a super well-known film that I watched recently was Soft. It was made in 2022. It's a pretty short film, actually, but it was, again, very nostalgic in a sense, and I really like films that make me feel nostalgic. Also very sad. So maybe a little shout out to that movie. Should give it a watch.
Okay. That's very on par.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's still
Nostalgia.
ties into identity, but a little bit of a younger sense on identity. There's some good trans representation in that film as well.
Which plays a bit in line to I Saw the TV Clip.
Yes.
You made me. You didn't make me.
I forced you.
Forced me. I watched Blue Jean.
It's an English film.
Okay.
I tend to prefer foreign films. And that one, I honestly just fell in love with the main character.
The main character.
So that made me enjoy that film.
Yeah.
Her accent, her entire look. Yeah. I
Um,
forced Maddie to watch Submarine, which also is a smaller film, a little bit older,
yes.
but Submarine,
Submarine.
give Submarine a
You know,
watch.
you know.
You know.
If you know, it's a very good film.
Thank you for spending time with us.
If this
And
time with us, which it probably will be, unless you know us, and I really hope you don't know us. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you. You're very cool. Yeah,
yeah,
we will hopefully see you next week
with a new film.
with a new film, unless there are unfortunate events.
Yes.
Love you guys.